Well, hello friends, I messed up with that last video, played a couple of chords wrong, and so let's just give this up and quit. But let me tell you about my friend Milo. You haven't seen him in a while. Milo. Look at me, Milo. Well, there he is. Say hello to everybody, Milo. Milo the insurance dog. Yes, I even call him Milo the theology dog sometimes when he helps me write my sermons. He likes to keep me company here in the office in his old lawn chair, and he's doing that this afternoon. I wanted to share with you an encouraging word from a song that I had, well, it's a song that was popular when I was a little kid. A guy by the name of Ray Price wrote it. Well, he actually sang it. Ray Pennington wrote it, but Ray Price was on the old Hee Haw show. Big guy, about 6'1", 6'2", 300 pounds. They called him the round mound of sound. And well, so I've lost about 50 pounds and gained some of it back. So I'm moving into that round mound of sound myself. So I'm having to take the dog for a walk here in a minute and get to the gym later this afternoon after I have an insurance appointment. But I just wanted to tell you, encourage you to leave some happy tracks today. Man, there's so much discouragement out there in the world and people full of angst. And let's be encouraging kind of people. Let's help others. If you know this old song, sing along with me. I know you've heard people say many, many times you don't pass through this world, but once you get yours, I'll get mine. But I've got a philosophy, I believe I'd rather go by. And if you just listen, you may want to give it a try. Leave a lot of happy tracks as you go down life's road. Oh, leave a lot of happy tracks everywhere you go. Leave a lot of happy tracks. Just keep this in mind. Others will have to follow in the path you leave behind. Just walk the tangled streets of life. Notice your fellow man, and when he gets in trouble, just lend him a helping hand. So good siege in your field of life as you go along. Let others reap your happiness a long time after you're gone. Leave a lot of happy tracks as you go down life's road. Oh, leave a lot of happy tracks everywhere you go. Leave a lot of happy tracks. Just keep this in mind. Others will have to follow in the path you leave behind. Don't ever use a good friend for a personal gain. To gain wealth and lose your friend would only be in vain. Let your happy tracks be many. Leave them everywhere you go. Others will have to harvest each and every seed you sowed. Leave a lot of happy tracks as you go down life's road. Oh, leave a lot of happy tracks everywhere you go. Leave a lot of happy tracks. Just keep this in mind. Others will have to follow in the path you leave behind. And that's so true. We have to leave happy tracks. And you know, you may say, oh, you just sounded like you always have to be positive and upbeat. You know, there are times we have to correct people, and you're right, we have to do that. Everything's not positive and everything's not upbeat. I've been a youth sports coach, and while I always tried to encourage kids, sometimes you have to get on to them a little bit. Make them do the drill over and over and over. You know, sometimes I can say as a basketball coach, I've been known to throw my hat a couple of times, you know, and I've also been known to celebrate as well. But you know, even when we correct people, though, we can still leave a happy track. I remember a boss man that I had when I was just 20 years old. His name was Bobby, and Bobby was a good guy. I literally loved working for Bobby, but I was working a construction job, and Bobby put me on a little thing I was supposed to do something to make dig a little trench around, make a little form so that we could pour some concrete around a junction box out on a US 31 in Birmingham. And he put me on the job. Whatever I did, should have just taken a few minutes. It took me about 25 minutes, so I still wasn't done with it. And I remember Bobby's word to me was, "I'm disappointed in you." You know, it sort of hurt my feelings a little bit, but he had a right to be. I had been working construction for 2 or 3 years, and what Bobby didn't know was my mind was, I was considered a smart, intelligent person. I have a photographic memory. History and English and things like that came real easy to me. I could memorize all types of stuff. That part worked real good. But that kind of intelligence didn't always jump right in there. A guy that could work on his car, he might be a C student, but he had an intelligence that I didn't have sometimes. And I was growing in that and working on that. So, but I learned from it. He showed me what to do, Bobby did. And then after it was over, he put me on another job a week or so later. And when I did it well and did it right, after learning from what he showed me to do, he let me know, "I appreciate what you did. You did a good job. I'm proud of you." And so, even when we correct people, we can still leave happy tracks. I have much more happiness about that memory than I do negative. And so let's leave happy tracks. I have to say, since I've been in the insurance industry, I've been amazed at all the people who have wanted to help me. And yes, in ministry work, I have had people down through the years help me. When I was in my early 20s, I would go and make appointments with other music and education ministers and pastors and pick their brain. And there were those that were really helpful to try to encourage me and spend time with me. But, sometimes having been a person of faith and really been reared in church all my life, I've been a little concerned. And even my experience with the insurance industry is maybe want to challenge my friends of faith to, hey, step up a little bit and help other people. Be encouraging to others. Dr. Ed Young Jr., I heard him, Dr. Ed Young Sr., I should say. I heard him speaking this morning on a radio station, and he was talking about the war on poverty and all the different problems that people had out in the world, the violence, the angst we have in society. And he talked about how over here in Houston, Texas, it's a tale of two cities, as Charles Dickens mentioned in his great novel. And that there was the affluent side that was blessed, and there was a lot of wonderful things about the city of Houston, but there was an inner city that was struggling. And he mentioned how, we had the war on poverty some 50 some odd years ago, and we dumped a lot of money into that. It really didn't seem to work. And he did step up and say that, that idea doesn't work, but, there's people that want to kick all the money out and say, just pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. That doesn't work either, okay, because there's systemic problems there. And so I would just say, hey, to my people of faith, let's be encouraging. I get tired of being fussed at on Facebook or hearing your rants and complaints a lot of the time when there's so much good we can be doing here. I'm thankful for my friends in the insurance industry that are volunteering information. My friend Kelly spent an hour and a half with me last Friday helping me brainstorm ideas and things to do. So what I would tell you is let's leave some happy tracks. Let's help some people. Let's give a helping hand. I agree that we don't have to do everything for everybody, but some people need a hand up. Some people need an encouraging word. Some people need help to keep going. And I had a friend just today that said a year ago I had open heart surgery, was scared to death, but I was going back today reading through the comments that my friends left. And thank you for encouraging me. And I told her, I said, well, man, I hope that my comments were encouraging, as I try to acknowledge that, yes, there's pain and frustration and anxiety when we face these problems. And then I want to share the hope. You don't just share that everything's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. When a person is facing great difficulty, they need to know that the situation is serious. And it helps if you can share some illustration where you were in a dire situation and yet you were helped. You were aided. Maybe the Lord helped you. Some other friend helped you. So let's leave happy tracks today, folks. Thank you, Amy, for my friend Amy Sims, for mentioning that. She said, leave happy tracks. Love it. Thank you for that, Amy. Hey, let me know if you remember that song. You remember Ray Price. Let me know if you need some help, by the way, with whether it's spiritual help, whether it's help with insurance, whether it's, I'll be glad to help you with that. If you need help quoting a policy quote, you have a question, you have a frustration about something, you need some knowledge. And if you ask me and I don't know, I'll find somebody that knows, and we'll get an answer to it. But today, let's leave some happy tracks. Okay, let's do some good out in the world. Again, let's keep lighting candles. You can call out the darkness, the sin, the evil, the wickedness. There's a place for that. But even in doing that, you got to leave people some hope. Leave some happy tracks. Hey, I'll see you tomorrow, friends. You make today a great day. God bless.